where do you stand? I think one of the biggest problems with the American economy today is the fact that you have things like Obamacare and new taxes which are coming into play next year and the year after, which are creating a logjam of information. Many businesses don't want to hire because they don't know how their taxes are going to go up in the coming years. What would you do about this problem if you were elected to Congress?
Okay. This is something that both Representative Hanna, the Republican Party, and a lot of people, and let's be honest, 55% of all Americans, according to one of the most recent Pew, I believe it was Pew and Gallup polls, stated, don't like Obamacare. There's a lot of reasons why you should. It's a mess. It's over 2,200 pages of the most confused lawyer speak that we've seen in the law in a long time. But there are good elements. The problem is there is no clarity. What does Obamacare do? We still don't know. We still don't have the definitions from the government to say these are the minimum requirements for the states and therefore for these exchanges. You're right. No businessman can run an effective business without knowing what is he dealing with. What's the answer? Yes, repeal is the answer, but not all of them.
What part do you keep?
Well, some of the parts that we keep, 26. Health care for those up until the age of 26. I wouldn't quite go to 26. I think by 26 you should be rather self-sufficient. Not necessarily perfectly independent, but enough so to take care of that essence. It's a key thing. But yeah, I think that's something that's important. I think that helping to provide for those who don't have health care is good. I think they need to have more input and more self-responsibility on that. And I don't think it's a free-for-all of everyone. I don't feel like I should have to pay for someone who's abusing the system. There should be some safeguards in there for that. But should we help people? Yeah, I'll be the first one to say it. I was helped when I was in need. Someone gave me a hand up. I believe in giving someone a hand up. But I don't believe in having someone give me the hand up, I get on their back and they carry me around for a while. That's where the law goes into the wrong direction. And it doesn't address one of the biggest issues. What's one of the biggest driving forces in healthcare costs? Lawsuits. Frivolous lawsuits. Everyone likes to make jokes about it, and there's a lot of things to it, but the McDonald's healthcare companies. The lawsuit of the parents, their 8-year-old is fat because he eats McDonald's every day. That's McDonald's fault? That's frivolous. You can stop taking the kids to McDonald's. But we still have that cost, which is affecting the healthcare, which drives up the prices, and then all of a sudden, it just goes up and up. So these are the things that we need to take out and make a real law that actually addresses some of the concerns there. And we need to be bold enough to actually say that to everybody and say, let's be serious, because otherwise it doesn't work. We'll go to you, and then we'll circle around this way and come back. Is that right?
Okay, first of all, when is you're running in the primary, right?
I have to go through the primary, yeah.
Yeah, so first of all, I'd like you to talk about like when the primary is and like how you're doing your campaign. And secondly, like you opened up with talking about like student loans,
Yes.
and it's a problematic issue because students need loans to go to college.
Yes.
And on the other hand, like when the government provides more loans, colleges are able to like charge higher prices, and it like contributes to the fact that like the cost of college has risen. So like, what exactly would your policy be on the student loans?
A couple big swaths there. So let me take them in pieces. The first thing is, we're looking at April, the exact date. I didn't see, it hasn't been published yet, but we're looking at April for the primary. I still have to go from exploratory to running, which hopefully will be by the end of the summer if all things go well. Support is wonderful, and then I run off against Hanna, because I'm sure he's an incumbent, he's going to go forward. So we have time for that, but that gives me more time to speak to people and let them know what I believe. To go back to the issue of the student loans, yes, it's complicated. There is nothing that deals with business, money, and people's lives that isn't complicated. Let's be honest with each other and let's actually say that, because pandering doesn't help anyone. To say that we're going to just drop the interest rates, I know there was someone who's just, one of the senators recently said, from Vermont, I believe it was. So we're going to drop down the interest rates for students to 7.75%, the same as for banks. Because you guys should have the same interest rate as a bank does. Who agrees with that? I'm glad no one does, because you should. A bank does it because a bank generates more money off of that income that it takes in. By taking in the money, it gives it out to other communities, small businesses, which then creates more business, more jobs, and growth. Moves the economy forward. We have, so that's one reason why the bank has a rate. Why do I think rates should be somewhat higher for students? And low, yes, but higher than that. Because you have to have it. You have to want it. When you give something to someone for free, how much do they appreciate it? How much do you strive for it? How much does it feel? I know how it feels. I've had tens of thousands of dollars of student loans, and I don't even have a degree to go for it. It took me more than a decade to pay that off. But do I value that education I got? Do I still have the books? Do I still remember? Yeah. Was it vital to me? Absolutely. And every day I can remember what I did and what I was going for. I still read the books that I had there. Part of the reason, and this is my personal view, is we need to have rates to be somewhat higher, not higher than where they are necessarily today. But you need rates up because it's going to weed out people. And make sure that people who really want it are going to go for it. That's important, because everyone can't. Let's be honest. Not everyone's going to be a doctor. And a world full of doctors doesn't succeed. Okay. Another problem with that. Who's paying for this? If we make sure every student has a loan, every student has $10,000, fantastic. Dropout rate is somewhere around 15% per year. Okay. Who's paying for that money? How many loans are being going into essentially foreclosure or bad debt off of student loans? Last I saw it was somewhere in 27% and growing. Who's paying that? How much is a burden that's going to be transferred on to parents and then go on to the rest of the community? Yes, we want to make sure people are going to go to college and do well. But there's a lot of things that people can go and do and be well at. Let's make sure we get the people who are going to do the best they can to get there. Give them every opportunity for that. And if that means that some can't, I don't know what else I have to say. That's all right, because we still need plumbers. We still need people to build the buildings, to maintenance the buildings, to design the buildings. Not everything is a college degree. The country's not built on just doctors and lawyers. It just isn't. And that's an honest answer about that. It won't make everyone happy, but it's honest. Yeah, that's one other part of that.
No, I think basically covered it.
Yeah.
What's specifically wrong with Richard Hanna that you feel that you need to run against?
I've never said that Richard Hanna is a bad person.
No,
Policy-wise. I understand, but I want to make it clear. I'm not saying that he's a bad person. I don't actually, I've met him once. Politically, I'll use the words of Carl Palladino, who was running for governor about the same time that he was running for office. So, as I understand, they've met more often and they have some knowledge of each other. Carl Palladino believes that Richard Hanna isn't a conservative nor a good representation of a Republican. His record in Congress right now, he's the 5th most moderate Republican in the entire Congress. He's voted on both sides of the issues. And at least once, it has been reported in the press, where he's gone out and told his constituents he would vote one way, and his congressional record is showing that he voted it in exactly the opposite way. That's on record. These are all problems. And I believe very strongly you stand by what you say. I have 7 years of writing. I have 7 years of doing what I believe. I don't have any reason, I've had plenty of reason over 7 years to come to the conclusions I've come to. I can't see anything that will make me change them. And I don't see him, most importantly, as a constituent of the 22nd District. Why is my representative not standing out there and talking about and being vocal about the things that are concerning us? When you look up Richard Hanna, Representative Richard Hanna, what issues do you see? I can tell you he's put 15 bills for Congress while he's been there. One has been voted on and passed. Of those, it will be issues that we're concerned about. Controlling the debt. Fiscal responsibility. I'll give you a great thing. Why am I upset? April 24th. Richard Hanna is part of the Joint Economic Committee. They had a meeting on April 24th to review resolutions to the long-term employment bill, which is about 40% of all unemployment. It's a big issue. He didn't show. Almost all of the senators, all of the representatives did not show up to this meeting. Only about 4 showed up, and 3 of them showed up late. That's been documented by press, national, a few others. Everyone else in other districts argue about their people, he's ours. I've yet to see anything that says why he wasn't there. But I can tell you on that same day, he wrote an article promoting jobs for STEM jobs, science, technology, to farmers. He later clarified that to me short term, but I know the article on the 24th, when we were supposed to be hearing about solutions to long-term unemployment, wasn't there, but he was talking about immigration reform so that they can give visas to people in jobs that we need.